Hello and welcome to tonight's live stream. Tonight I'm going to be doing the Chaos Space Marine Codex review. I should have done on a Saturday, but I've been away, so I didn't have a chance to get it done. Did open it up yesterday, have a quick look through it. So we're going to go through it today. Well, bits of it, mainly the detachment stuff today, like I would do it in a normal video, but with you guys live online. So if you have any questions, points to point out, things like that, then I'd appreciate it. Hello to everyone in the chat. We're sounding a bit quiet to me. All my volumes are bouncing around quite well down there. Are you sure we're quiet? How is the quiet? If I turn that and turn that, it should get a little bit louder. Maybe I need to raise my voice. So hopefully everyone in the chat can hear me quite well. But yeah, been away, had a lovely time. It was quiet. You're fine now. Thanks. So we're fine. Just speaking. I was speaking quietly. Right. I need to turn my mouth up. I've turned my mouth up. Thanks for joining me in the chat this evening, guys. Nice to see Chris, Stats and Dares, make the machine, Wraith Raider. Seems better. Good. Just need to talk louder. So yeah, I think Codex reviews as well. Everyone does Codex reviews these days, and Auspex Tactics normally gets them out a couple of days before I'm allowed to get them out, because clearly he hasn't signed any NDAs or anything, and someone's giving him lots of information. So the previous Codex reviews that I did, well, you know, the demand's gone down. Because you just go to Auspex Tactics, get it all from him. But I appreciate that many of you like to hear my point of view on what I feel about the new detachments and things. So that's why I thought we'd do it together. Thank you, Simply Warhammer, for gifting a membership. I love you, buddy. Thank you. Fine here, but I've got headphones on. It's like you're talking right into my ear. Good. He just puts me to sleep. Sleep content for you and your child. Put me on in the background, have them talk. Luton's pretty good for sleep content as well. I love Luton. Have you seen his creating a God Emperor video on YouTube? The first 5-10 minutes of that video, where he's explains what it's like to be the Emperor from the point of view of the Emperor being born with using the law that we know exists. It's just is very, very good. ASM, I think you're missing the R as well. ASMR. Vashdor detachment looks fun. So let's go through. Yes, and we'll hit the Vashdor detachment, but we'll start at the very start. And then everyone who's watching this afterwards, this is my thoughts and opinions on the new Chaos Space Marines. It's got 8 detachments in it, which is probably too many, but I appreciate what they're doing there. You know, 8 Chaos. I like that. Not all of them are great. Some of them are terrible. Some of them are good, but there's definitely some beans in the book. And the Chaos Space Marine index thing is still here. And what Chaos Space Marines did in the index, that was still good. There's plenty of flavor in the book. It's good. I like the Chaos Space Marines as a faction. They feel that the model range now, with your Venom Crawlers, your Mauler Fiends, now you've got some new Chaos Jump Pack Lords. Those are back. The model range has got its... Beforehand, in the old days, it just used to be like Land Raiders with spiky bits, or a Rhino with spiky bits, and the bikes with spiky bits on. It just used to be Imperial stuff with spiky bits. And now they've still got those things with spiky bits, but they've got a nice spread of more models and things around as well. They've got some more juice going on. So the model range is much better than it used to be. Much more, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, it's not the same. Want new bikes. Yeah, it'd be nice to have some new bikes as well, wouldn't it? Some Chaos Space Marine bikes, so they don't just look like Imperial bikes with spiky bits on. Plus there's a detachment in here that really wants you to run bikes. But yeah, some new bikes would be good. What's the word that I'm looking for? It's more, the range has its own identity now. It always had its own identity, but it has more aura of an own identity, you know? You reckon Alpha Legion are going to be the ones to beat unless you've got lots of infiltrate yourself. I didn't think the Alpha Legion one was great. Anyway, shall we? They're also smaller scale models than the new kits. I don't know what you're talking about. We'll go into it. We'll do the thing, and then you can feed me with questions and stuff as we go. So the Chaos... Oh, yeah. So if you're watching this afterwards... Thanks for watching this afterwards. Thank you everyone in the bod squad who comes along and tunes and watches it beforehand. Thank you to everyone joining me on the stream this evening. Thank you everyone who subscribed, and particularly thank you to everyone who is a channel member and help keep the lights on and keep this hobby stream pumping. I appreciate you, and if you're out there and you want to support me, then I encourage you to become a channel member. You can become a tier 1 channel member and get all the badges that the people have and things. Tier 2 channel member unlocks my Discord. Tier 3 channel member gets you an extra battle report every single Winter's Wednesday. There's also a tier 4 if you just want to throw money at me. I appreciate it when people throw money at me. So welcome. I've arrived for 5 minutes at least. Yes, you'll hear. Chaos Space Marine Codex. The army rules, the Dark Pact things hasn't changed. So if you run Chaos Space Marines, regardless of whatever detachment you bring, your units get sustained hits or lethal hits. They've got to pass a leadership test. If they fail a leadership test, they can get D3 wounds. But even if they fail the leadership test, you will get sustained hits or lethal hits, depending on which one you pick, which one you want to apply. And then there's rules here for cults of the dark gods, allowing you to include Khorne Berserkers, Brute Marines, Plague Marines, or Noise Marines from the other codexes in this thing. Thank you for 17 months, Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor. Good afternoon. Or for you filthy Brits, evening. How is it going? Fine. It's going fine. Thank you for your 17 months. I appreciate it. The rule has changed. They copied you, and now you have to roll first. Do you? Each time a unit with this ability is selected to shoot or target fight, it can make a Dark Pact. If it does, it must first take a leadership test before any effects of that Dark Pact are resolved. If the test is failed, that unit suffers D3 wounds. Then select one of the abilities. So you roll first. That's good. That's better. I like it. It's cleaner, and it also means that the Dark Pact hurts more. So you want to shoot a thing, you want your sustained or lethal, you roll your D3, a couple of guys get taken away, that means you're shooting less, right? And Mick the Machine, thank you for gifting 5 memberships, you absolute legend. GG's in the chat, please. GG's all round for these memberships so far. 6 already, guys. Thank you. So yeah, rolling first, Dark Pact abilities, I like it. I'm glad that you're rolling first in there. Detachment number 1, Veterans of the Long Wars. GW doesn't listen to me. Veterans of the Long War. Veterans of the Long War. At the start of your command phase, select one unit from your opponent's army to be the focus of your hatred. Until the start of your next command phase, each time a Heretic Astartes model from your army, excluding downed models, makes an attack that targets your focus of hatred, you can re-roll the hit rolls. So damned models are Chaos Cultists, Accursed Cultists, Guardsmen, right? They're all those things. Cultist Firebrand is damned. Cultist Mob, damned. Accursed Cultist, damned. Traitor Guardsman, damned. Yeah, so Veterans of the Long War is Oath of Moment. You get Oath of Moment. Space Marines have Oath of Moment, and then they add a detachment rule on top of it. So you've got Oath of Moment, point at a unit, re-roll all hits on that unit, and then you add a detachment on top of it. Chaos Space Marines have got it the other way around. They've got their sustained hits or lethal hits, and then they can get Oath of Moment. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? That some of them have, that Chaos Space Marines have an Oath of Moment type ability, and it doesn't affect damn models, so you're probably not bringing any Chaos Cultists, any Accursed Cultists, things like that. I mean, they are the veterans of the Long War. A little cultist or a traitor guardsman who's only been alive for the last 2 minutes, he shouldn't be affected by such an ability. So I like it. It's Oath of Moment. I tell you what, though, when you're pointing at a unit, so we know Oath of Moment is good. We know it works. We know it can be strong. There'll be some units in the book that it doesn't affect. So Terminators reroll all hits anyway if they make a Dark Pact. Terminators still reroll all hits if they make a Dark Pact for Chaos Space Marines. Where are the Terminators? Where are the Terminators? I'm trying to find the Terminators. Can't find the term. They do. Apparently, they do. Chaos Terminators. Each time a unit makes a Dark Pact, you can reroll the hit roll. Right, yeah. So it's not going to be useful to them because they reroll the hit roll whenever they make a Dark Pact anyway. But I guess you can point at a unit over here, and then all your army has Oath of Moment, reroll all hits into that unit over there. And if your Chaos Terminators are deep striking somewhere over the other side, then they're going to have to re-roll the hit rolls as well. So we know it's good. Now, if you're re-rolling hit rolls and you've got sustained hits or lethal hits, you're going to be re-rolling all the time, aren't you? So, for example, if there is a tank and the tank has only got 2 or 3 wounds remaining and you're chucking bolt guns into it, then you're going to say, well, I'll do lethal hits. Or if you're hitting it, you go charging into a tank and it's toughness 20, toughness 20,000, and you've got lethal hits on 6s and you hate it. It really helps that lethal hit reroll. It'll really help massed volume of attacks such as bolt guns or close combat bring down really tough things. You roll all your dice, 6s auto wound, pick up everything that's not a 6, re-roll it, 6s auto wound. So it's going to be very, very good for bringing down tougher things, particularly with sustained and lethal. Sustained better for killing hordes. There's a useful strat. You can remove it to a second unit if you kill the first one. Yes, so Endless Ire. Any phase after your focus of hatred is dead. Select an enemy unit within 12 inches and visible to your unit until the end of your next command phase. That enemy unit is considered to be the focus of your hatred. So it's 2 CP though. So you kill a thing there. Say you overkill it at the start of your shooting phase. Then for 2 CP, if there's an enemy unit within 12 inches of one of your units, you can put it on another one. Or I suppose if you kill something in the shooting phase and then go charging in there and you've got 2 CP floating around, you can put it on the unit that you just charged in the charge phase, in the fight phase, and then get re-roll all hits in the fight phase. So you can change your hatred earlier because it's at the start of your command phase that you do it. So that's good. It's expensive at 2 CP. There's another 2 CP stratagem here called Bringers of Despair, start of the fight phase. Your unit has fights first. That's good. That should definitely be 2 CP. So Veterans of the Long War has just a flat out fight first strat. Any Heretic Astartes unit's not damned. All of these things don't affect damned stuff. That doesn't affect damned. That. Okay, there's one called Let the Galaxy Burn that could affect damned stuff. But fight first for 2 CP. Strong. Very strong. I don't think I've seen a fights first stratagem yet in any chat. Is there any strats, just flat out strats out there that you know of that you can spend the CP on to give something fights first? Because fight first is strong. Chaos Lords can use them for free, right? Yeah, there's a battle tactics thing where you can use strats for free, but they've changed it on the Warhammer community. So stuff that costs free stuff is no longer free. It's just reduced by 1. So if it does cost 1 CP, it is now 0 CP to pop that strat. If it costs 2 CP, then it costs 1 CP to pop that strat. But fights first is nice. There's one that pops up a couple of times in here called Contemptuous Disregard. And it's basically Armor of Contempt. Your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase, after it's selected as a target, until the end of the phase, each time attack targets your unit, worsen the AP of that attack by 1. So they've got Oath of Moment, they've got Armor of Contempt, both of which are good, and being a decent Imperial player like myself, I approve of. Endless Ire, refocus your hatred from one unit to another unit so long as the first unit is dead. I can't see that one coming up often. Fight first, bring us a despair. You're going to use that at least once or twice a game. If you have punchy stuff, you are going to use it. Your opponent charges you with the Avatar, with the Nightbringer, with something nasty, but it's on half wounds, and they go charging into some Terminators. They go charging into even some Legionaries. They go charging into something, and you go, nope, you're not fighting first. 2 CP, I fight first. And you batter it and bring it down with lethal hits, particularly if it's the target of your hatred and you're re-rolling everything. Nice. Black Crusade in your movement phase. Until the end of your turn, your Heretic Astartes or mounted. Until the end of your turn, your unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. But bolt pistols, bolt guns, combi bolters equipped by models in the unit have devastating wounds abilities. While your unit has not already inflicted 6 wounds using this ability. Okay, so the second part. Ignore the second part. It's a bit complicated. The first part is for 1 CP, you can shoot when you advance. You can shoot when you fall back. Fall back and shoot. Brilliant for obliterators. Brilliant for havocs. You don't need it on chosen. It's a Heretic Astartes infantry unit. Can't put it on tanks and things. Yes, thank you, Mr. Turtle. I'm doing very well. Thank you. Am I the only one bothered by how good this book is and the ramifications of that for the game? The value disparity between Orcs and Chaos Space Marines compared to Custodians and Tau is shockingly wide. That's a good point. This book, I've only just started looking through it. I'm not sure how good it is, really. I can tell you that the Orc book is good. The Orc book is a good book. The Green Tide is going to do work at tournaments. For anyone who can play with 120 boys, it's going to do some real work. Only 170 points for 120 boys. So you get 120 boys for less than 1,000 points. It's going to do some serious work in the tournaments, just like the Unending Swarm list does some serious work in tournaments with those that can field 200 bugs. If you can field 200 bugs in a game, in a 2.5 hour game, if you've got movement trays and you practice the shit out of it so you can play it really well, really quickly, it does very well in tournaments. The Green Tide is going to do very well in tournaments. And the one with the Mega Knobs, what is the Orc detachment with the Mega Knobs and the Knobs, which allow them to call a war twice? That one with maxed out units of Mega Knobs. That one's going to do some work in the tournaments as well, because while the war is in effect, they get a 4 at Feel No Pain. They'll have that twice. And while the WoW is in effect, if they've got a what is it called? Mech with custom force field, they'll have a 4 up invulnerable save, a 4 at Feel No Pain, and the mech with a custom force field will be able to put Mega Knobs back in for free and heal them. So you're looking at 3 units of those bricks with a big mech with custom force field, big mech with custom force field, big mech with custom force field. That isn't that very expensive. 3 units of knobs charging forward, doing all their thing, twicing, and then using bikers, deathcopters, things like that to score the secondaries. That one's going to do really well. Green Tide's going to do really well with some big guns backing it up. Bully Boys, thank you. My Games Workshop manager hasn't stopped laughing. He's been playing Horde Orcs for years. Yeah. They're going to be extremely strong. Black Crew. Let the Galaxy Burn. 1 CP. Your shooting phase. Ignores cover. No. And Torrent weapons suddenly have 6 attacks rather than 6. So, okay. Let the Galaxy Burn. Ignoring cover to a thing. And it's Heretic Astartes units. It's not just Heretic Astartes infantry units. You can do it to everyone. So if you've got a unit of flamers and just flamers, torrent weapons doing just a flat 6. Yeah. Millennial experience. Your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy ends a normal move, advance or fall back. Within 9 inches of you, you can make a normal move of up to 6. Heretic Astartes infantry or Heretic Astartes mounted unit from your army. So I like those stratagems. It seems like almost every faction has got a version of that, or 1 or 2 versions of that in their in a detachment or 2. When someone moves within 9, an infantry unit then being able to move 6. Movement wins your games. That one you'll see a lot. Bring is a displayer, fight first. You'll see that one a lot. Contemptuous disregard, which is armor of contempt. You'll see that one a lot. But let the galaxy get burn, not so great. Not Zinch though, so no rule bricks. Yeah, exactly. Any good enhancements in here? Chaos Lord. 5+ scores a critical wound. 1 minute. Each time the bearer makes an attack that targets the fortress of your hatred, and on a modified wound roll of 5 scores a critical wound. That would have worked really well with Black Crusade if instead it being the bearer, if it was the bearer's unit, then with Black Crusade getting devastating wounds would have been really nice for your unit. But it says Chaos Lord model only. Each time the bearer makes an attack that targets the focus of your hatred. On a 5, it does a critical. Black Crusade gives you devastating wounds. If it wasn't just him and it was him and his unit, then that would be the go-to. Eager for Vengeance. Too much to bother reading. Eye of Abaddon. CP farm. Mark of Legend. Once per turn you can reroll 1 hit, 1 wound, or 1 saving throw made for the bearer. 1 hit, 1 wound, saving throw. That's probably a 10-pointer. Let's just have a look at the points in the back. I know the points in the back, but it gives you a rough idea of what it is, right? What is it called? Mark of Legend. Veterans of the Long War. Mark of Legend. 10 points, it says. Yeah, that feels about right. To reroll a hit, a wound, or a saving throw for a dude. If you've got a 990-point list and you've got 10 points left over, you'll spend it. You'll put it on your Lord, and that might be the thing that saves him. Or that might be the thing that hurts. Reroll a hit or a wound when you're fighting someone. I think this might be the first attachment I'll try. Abaddon with 10 chosen in a Land Raider seems like a good start. Yeah, I mean, this one, Veterans of the Long War. Abaddon gives you reroll hits anyway, right? And that's what Abaddon does. He has a... Let's check what Abaddon does. Abaddon, the despoiler. I'm going to need to turn this on a bit brighter because my eyes... What I'm going to need to do is this. Yeah. Put on the old painting glasses. While a friendly Heretic Astartes unit excluding damned units is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll. Yeah, he's got the War Master, which is that ability which everyone, well, not everyone, which Mortarion, Magnus, Guilliman, he has that ability where you can pick one of 3 things. And one of them is a 4-up invulnerable save, and one of them is reroll all hits. I guess you could bring Abaddon along, and he keeps his 4+ invulnerable save bubble going instead of the reroll all hits thing. But I like the idea of Veterans of the Long War. Look, what you've got. Do you think you play bolt action? No. It means you can use his rerolls on one target and the detachment rerolls on the other one. That's exactly what I was thinking, Wraith Raider. I was thinking you can point at a unit over here and say, right, I'll have all my rerolls because of Veterans of the Long War over there. And then Abaddon back here gets all of his rerolls. And you camp him in the backfield with, because it does it on any Heretic Astartes excluding damned. Yeah, so it'll do it on your Mauler Fiends, your Forge Fiends, your Havocs, your things that you want to be shooting with. It would work well with Abaddon, but it's perhaps not the best use of his thing. Veterans of the Long War. With Armor of Contempt and with a Fights First 2 CP stratagem, tells me you want to use that Fights First 2 CP stratagem. So, and it's Veterans of the Long War. I would bring Terminators, Chosen, lean into them because Terminators are good, Chosen are good. Well, Terminators are good because of Deep Strike and their natural reroll to hit things. Chosen are good because they have 3 wounds and they could advance and charge and fall back and charge. They're always moving, they're always charging, they're doing their thing. And with Chosen, you can put characters with them still to give them -1 to hit and -1 to wound. So chosen are still eligible to shoot and declare a charge in the turn in which they advanced or fall back. And then you can add characters in amongst them to make them a bit harder to kill, right? Is it the sorcerer? Sorcerer. While this model is leading a unit, each time an attack targets that unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll, and they can rock around with chosen and legionaries. Yeah, so if I was doing it, I'd have triple sorcerers with... I mean, if I was doing how to get as gamey as possible, where's the strength? So you're looking at triple units of chosen with triple sorcerers, making them -1 to hit. You're looking at terminators, because you're looking at trying to get in close combat and using that bring as a despair thing. You could also throw forward some venom crawlers, throw forward some mauler fiends. It's a pressure force. It's about getting in there, because that re-roll all hit rolls also kicks in the fight phase as well. So you want to re-roll all hit rolls in the shooting phase, re-roll all hit rolls in the fighting phase. You want to maximize that as much as possible. Annoyingly, they nerfed Possessed in the Master of Possession, so not sure if it's worth taking anymore. Either they'd work well with it, yeah. How did they nerf Possessed and the Master of Possession? Possessed. Once per battle, they can get devastating wounds. Each time a bearer's unit takes a leadership test for Dark Pact, you can re-roll the result. And Possessed, toughness 6, 3 wounds, 3 up save, 5 up and bun. So that's still the same with 4 attacks, and they hit at strength 5 -1/2 damage. The dev wounds thing is once per game rather than whenever you want. Yeah, they're still good though. A unit of 10 of them puts out 40 strength 5 -1/2 damage attacks. 40. With re-rolling all hits, because you'll be hitting your hated units, and 6 being lethal or 6 being sustained. 40 of them is gonna be a mean. Master of Possession doesn't give them the feel no pain anymore. Oh my, that is a bit of a buff. That is a bit of a... You can add 1 to advance and charge rolls with Master of Possession. Once per phase, when this model is selected to shoot or fight, you can use this ability. If it does the second attack, yeah. Okay, that's it. Stab some guy in the back. It doesn't give him a 6 up feel no pain. So they've lost a bit of resilience, but they're still toughness 6 with 3 wounds and a 5 up and vulnerable save. So I still think they're good. They're not as resilient. They're not going to be ignoring 1 out of 6 blows. Okay, so they're not, but they're still good. The output that you can have with Possessed is incredible, unless they charge a monolith. And then they're not going to do so well if they're charging a monolith, are they? Toughness high. Right, let's go on to the next one. Deceptors, Alpha Legion. In the declare battle formation step, you can select a number of legionaries and cultist mob units from your armies. So it specifically says legionaries and cultist mobs. Guess who they're referring to? They're referring to the legionary datasheet. I don't think Possessed have the legionary keyword. Nope. Raptors don't have the legionary keyword. Nope. Determinators have the legionary keyword. Nope. So you're literally looking at cultist mobs or legionaries. So this affects 2 data sheets. And then they can infiltrate. And in a 2,000 point game, 3 units. 3 units are legionaries and 3 units are cultist mobs. Okay. So you got sustained hits, lethal hits. Everyone's got that. And 3 of your cultists can infiltrate and 3 of your legionaries can infiltrate. But they're cultists and they're legionaries. So you're talking about taking up a certain amount of board control before the game begins. In competitive play, it's essential to bring scouting units because you're... infiltrating units because it pushes back scouting units because you can't end a scout move within. So infiltrating units before the game begins, and it's 6 of them. Allows you to take an amount of ball control earlier on in the game and score a bit, and then you're going to die. They're going to die. They're out there. They're hanging out there, move blocking things. Potentially 19 models infiltrating. You'll never get to leave your deployment zone, and that's only half of your army. So imagine 3 units of 20 cultists with a dark commune. Yes. 9 inches away from the enemy deployment zone in a line. Just behind 3x10 legionaries, and mixed in 3x10 nurglings for -1 to hit. Where are they getting the 3x10 nurglings from? Because they're allied to nurglings and they're infiltrating in. Yeah. So, okay. So you're starting off the game with an allied detachment of nurglings, and they're infiltrating, and some cultists, and they're infiltrating, and something in there. So what will happen is, if that starts being a thing and starts taking over the scene, it will take over one tournament. So one LVGTSO SoCal. It'll take over an event, and a person will do very well at it. But there'll be a number of lists, a number of armies there that also have infiltrating in them. So Necrons, for example, will just start bringing along 3 units of 5 flayed ones. Because it's you go, I go on the infiltrate thing. You know, it's as you deploy. And then you can't infiltrate within a certain 9 inches to counter the thing. So that's what you'll start seeing at competitive play. So Necron players will just bring along 3 units of 5 flayed ones if it starts taking over the scene. And the first thing they put down is an infiltrating unit. Boom. With an 18-inch bubble around it saying you can't put anything here. And then the Chaos Cultist guy will put one over there. And then the Necron guy will put one there. And then the Chaos Cultist guy will put down one, and that'll take up the middle. Done. And that'll counter, deploy the counter. That's Necrons, for example. And there's a lot of units. I think Space Marine Scouts can infiltrate. So if it starts being a thing, there's a way to counter it. And then it will stop being a thing. If it starts, and then it will be a thing every now and then at someone's local meta where someone turns up with a game, a friendly game. And you're like, what you've got? I've got this. And what have you got? I've got that. Oh, mine is the Deceptors thing. Okay, let's play. And the friendly game, the guy doesn't have any infiltrating thing because he doesn't know about them. And then you'll be able to pull it off and go 10 and block off the whole board. And yeah. Space Marine will be fine against it. Most lists run 1x5 infiltrators. You may even see run 2x5 infiltrators. Yeah, I think the Deceptors could be a strong... I mean, and then, so you go first. So let's say you do manage to infiltrate across most of the board with lots of Nurglings, lots of Chaos Cultists, and lots of Legionaries, and then the game starts. And you go in second. And then the opponent will be jumping over their heads with some of them shooting it. So yeah, it's going to take a good couple of turns to get out of the deployment zone and start scoring stuff. It will move block stuff up quite considerably in the first couple of turns. Yes. Yes. But really killy things should be able to get through the stuff that you put in front. And there'll be a way to counter this at the major events. Evening, guide. Thanks, come in. So, yeah, it's strong, but I don't think it's going to take over the tournament scene because it's easily countered. Falsehood enhancement's huge. I'm not reading it. It's massive. Cursed Fang, you can give your Lord precision. Shroud of Obscuration, you can give a Heretic Astartes infantry dude stealth and lone operative. Why would you give one of your characters stealth and lone operative? I mean, Warp Smiths can do it to heal stuff, but they already have lone operative if they're in a certain range. And then Soul Link. At the start of your command phase, you can select one other Heretic Astartes infantry character model from your army. Till your next command phase, the bearer gains the Psyker keyword. And replace the bearer's datasheet abilities with the datasheet abilities of the character you selected. Oh dear. So you pick another character. At the start of your command phase, you can select one other. So you've got a character who's your warlord, who's got this enhancement, and then you can gain those warlord abilities on another character out there through this soul link in the command phase. Nice idea. Not really gonna jump Chaos Lord for scoring. Stealth and lone operative abilities. Yes. Shroud of Obscuration would that one. That would work well on a very well on a Chaos Lord with a jump pack. Stealth and lone operatives. Deploy closer to my 2 mechs, 2 stompers, and 70 grots. Yeah. It sounds like a nice idea, but it's gonna Deceptors, lots of infiltrating. It's a nice party trick. You need to bring the right list to pull it off, and you will be able to pull it off a couple of times in your local meta, and then your friends will bring infiltrators and stop you doing it. And that's what's going to happen on the tournament scene as well. There's going to be counter infiltrators to stop this from happening. The Hobo, thank you for your 16 months. Hey Winters, how are you today? I know you're neck deep in Titan parts, the Hobo. I've seen your pictures on the Discord. You are a brave man for getting a Titan. It took me about a month to stick together Mariva and paint it. You're doing the Warhound, right? That took me a couple of weeks. I took off some time actually from work at the time to help stick it together, because it's a big project and I wanted to get it done. Deceptors, not the one for me then, I would say. This is not shining to me. Detonator. Any phase. Second Titan this time. This time the Reaver. Nice. Any phase just after an enemy model with a deadly demise ability, excluding Titanic, it just blows up. Nice, I guess. From all sides, start your charge phase. 1 Heretic Astartes unit from your army until the end of the charge phase. Add 1 to charge rolls each time Heretic Astartes unit from your army made a charge move this phase, up to a maximum of 3. And it doesn't say you have to charge the same unit. From all sides, start of your charge phase, 1 CP. Add 1 to charge rolls for your unit for each other Heretic Astartes unit from your army that made a charge move this phase, up to a maximum of 3. So for 1 CP, one Heretic Astartes unit from your army adds 1 to the charge rolls for your unit. And for each other heretic. Okay, so 3 units get +1 to charge for 1 CP. Your shooting phase. Heretic Astartes from your unit's not been selected to shoot. Each time you make an attack, below starting strength, reroll the hit roll. If below half strength, reroll the wound roll. So if you're shooting at a thing below starting strength, reroll the hit roll. That one's in the AdMech one. That one's in another one as well. I haven't used it in the AdMech. I have used it in the AdMech a bit. But it is reroll the hit roll. And all the way down to below half strength, reroll hit and reroll wound. That's not going to pop off very often. You might as well just bring veterans to the wrong wall where you reroll the hits all the time. Andy Henderson, thank you for 27 months. Waiting for this. Recently started a Chaos Army, slowed down until this came out. I hope you well. I'm well, yes. So far, Veterans of the Long War looks really good. I like re-rolling hit. I like Oath of Moment. I like Armor of Contempt, and they've got it. But re-rolling all hits with lethal hits and sustain hits is going to be strong. The Deceptors is going to be strong for 1 or 2 games, then it's not going to be strong anymore. Your movement phase, Coils of Deception. Until the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot in the turn in which it fell back. So shoot when fall back, not charge when fell back. We had one of them. We had Black Crusade and Veterans of the Long War as well. Eligible to shoot in the turn in which it advanced or fell back. Black Crusade. So we've got 2 shoot and fall back. Yeah, again, good for Havocs, good for Obliterators. That one's nice. Relentless pursuit. When your army, an enemy moves within 9, you can move 6. We've seen that one in the other one. Scrambled coordinates. Start of the reinforcement step of your opponent's movement phase. 1 Heretic Astartes unit from your army. So anything that's Heretic Astartes, and this is all Heretic Astartes, that's the faction keyword. Till the end of the phase, enemy units that are set up on the battlefield from reserves cannot be set up within 12 inches horizontally of your unit. Oh my Emperor, this one's really strong. Okay, so that is... In Deceptors, I'm not blown away because I think it can be countered. Coils of Deception, being able to fall back and shoot is quite nice. All the other strats are weak, except for this one. For 1 CP, point at a unit in your army, and you can't deep strike within 12 of that. Is super strong. Super strong. In your start of the reinforcement step of your opponent's movement phase as well. So you might know that they've got behind enemy lines. You might know that they've got engage in all fronts. You might know that they want to deep strike in and charge that thing. They might have capture enemy outpost. And you just go, well, in your reinforcement step, see this point, see this unit here? And it's from the whole unit. You can't deep strike within 12. That is really strong. Problem with that one is you might have to guess where they might deep strike when it costs you a CP per turn. Yes, so it's in the reinforcement step before they're saying, I'm dropping this in. But you know in turn 2 that they might want to. You'll know if they have in turn 3, they're definitely deep striking some stuff in. You're also looking at hypercrypt stuff or keeping hypercrypt stuff back. You're also looking at it's strong. It's strong. Telling your opponent you can't deep strike within 12 of something. Just, no, you thought you were dropping, no, you can't. That will pop in once or twice a game, every game. I could see myself using that. Surprisingly, Huron's still in the book despite being finecast. That's true. Using it to deny secondaries is good. Yeah, just drop in to say hello. Hello, Adam Sen. Have to watch on the catch-up. Good. That one's strong. You'll use that one. Deceptors overall, though, not the way to go. Well, do it once or twice. You'll feel good about doing it once or twice. Play the party trick. It'll be nice. Next, Renegade Raiders. They have bikes. Bike zipping around. Renegade Raiders. Ranged weapons equipped by Heretic Astartes models from your army. So that is the whole book, because everything is faction Heretic Astartes. I like it when it doesn't say excluding damned or blah blah. Ranged weapons have the assault ability. Nice. Okay, so you can advance and shoot with your whole army. Brilliant. That's good. And each time a Heretic Astartes, so every single Heretic Astartes thing, the whole book, makes an attack that targets a unit within range of an objective marker. So 1 minute. So your whole army has assault weapons, can always advance and shoot. That's strong. And then every time anything in this book makes an attack, so that isn't shooting, this is shooting and fighting, whatever, makes an attack that targets a unit within range of an objective, improve the AP by 1. Oh mama, this one is really strong. This is strong. You got +1 AP for your entire army, whether you shoot or fight anything in range of an objective. It doesn't have to be in control of the objective. It just says in range of an objective marker, and all the games have 5 objectives. +1 AP. Do you know what +1 AP for your entire army is like? I played Death Guard. And when you get in that contagion range, it is -1 toughness, and it can either be -1 to hit for your opponent or -1 armor save. I always do the -1 armor save because I think it feels more narrative to me. So -1 toughness, -1 armor save. Now, there are many times when the -1 toughness doesn't mean anything. There are many times when the -1 toughness does mean something. When you're fighting Space Marines and suddenly they're down to toughness 3. There's many times when it does mean something, but there's also many times when going from toughness 8 to toughness 7 doesn't really help the Death Guard at all, or a toughness 9 tank suddenly goes to toughness 9 tank goes to toughness. There's many times where it doesn't help, but the -1 AP in contagion range or reducing your opponent's save by 1 changed the entire oomph and output of the Death Guard quite considerably, and I feel it every single time when it kicks in. And this one gives you +1 AP whenever you're targeting an enemy in range of an objective marker, which is going to be about 50% of the opponent's army 50% of the time. And your whole army has assault weapons as well. And going back to Chosen could advance, shoot, charge, fall back. They can do all their things. So you're looking at Chosen advancing all over the place. I mean, they could always advance and charge, right? But now they can advance, shoot, and charge at -1 AP with a bajillion attacks going in. Could they shoot before? Chosen. Where are the Chosen? Where are my Chosen? This is eligible to shoot and declare a charge when it advances and fall. Okay, so they could always advance and fall back and shoot and charge. But now they're advancing, shooting and charging, and anything in range of an objective marker is -1 AP. Your bikers are zipping around. Basically, this one doesn't want to charge. This one wants to move, block, and shoot stuff in range of an objective. What do we think? +1 AP is huge. Like Guard's Fields of Fire, it's game-changing, and that's just for one target. Yes, and that's massive, yes. +1 AP whenever you shoot or fight an enemy unit in range of an objective. And your whole army has assault weapons. So you are bringing bikers for move blocking. You are bringing Chosen with a sorcerer in there, so they've got -1 to hit, and they can advance, fall back, and charge anyway. You are bringing... I mean, you're bringing more... You're bringing whatever you want. You're bringing whatever you want. What do we think, guys? What do we think of that one? Despot's Claim. So there's a CP farm enhancement. There is model only. Dread Reaver. Each time the bearer makes an melee attack, if the bearer is wholly within 12 inches of your opponent's deployment zone, you can reroll the hit. No. Mark the Hound. Models in the bearer unit have Scout 6 ability. Could be nice. Probably not. I mean, what would you want to give Scout 6 to? A unit of bikes. With a Chaos Lord on a bike. Can you have a Chaos Lord on a bike? This is great. Chaos Space Marine AP generally hovers around 1-2. This helps with that problem. Yes. I mean, even firing bolt guns. So you're shooting bolt guns at something. Again, say you're shooting 20 bolt guns at a big tank on a couple of wounds remaining. And you've got lethal hits on that tank, because lethal sustained is a thing that you have at Chaos Space Marines. You just need a chunk of those hits to get through, and then the AP of your bolt gun goes from 0 to -1, and any 3-up saves on that tank suddenly goes to 4-up save. It's dead. You kill it. You kill it. Scouts. 6-inch scouts. I suppose Warp Talons, Raptors, 6-inch scout would be useful, but they're in deep strike anyway. I can't think of what you want to give that enhancement to. Tyrant's Lash. Heretic Astartes model. You can reroll advance rolls made for the bearer's unit. And the bearer's unit is eligible to shoot in the turn in which it fell back. So you can reroll advance and shoot when you fall back. Who can attach to Havocs? Who attaches to Havocs, guys? Anyone? Reroll advance rolls, and your whole army has assault weapons, and shoot in the turn when you fall back. Can anyone attach to assault Havocs? Anything loves advance and shoot. Vindicators, Forge Fiends. Yeah, Vindicators will love it. Forge Fiends will love it. Venom Crawlers will love it. They're relatively cheap. I like Venom Crawlers. Very excited for this Codex. Veterans, Fellhammer, Raiders are what I'm most pumped for outside of Pactbound Zealots. Yeah, okay, we'll get to that. Lord with Chosen in a Rhino scouting is always nice. Yes, it is. Can you attach anything to Havocs? Because reroll advance and fall back. That sounds like a Havoc-y thing to me. While you're contemplating that, let's go on to the other stuff. Where's my thing? Not sure what attaches to Havocs, if anything. Okay, yeah, me either. Your opponent shooting on fight phase. So you've got Unfailingly Obdurate, which is worsen the incoming AP by 1. So we've got Armor of Contempt in the Space Marine book, which is -1 AP incoming. We've got Contemptuous Disregard and Unfailingly Obdurate, which we've got 3 names doing exactly the same thing. This annoys the crap out of me. It's Armor of Contempt, but they're putting it across some other detachments. Give it 1 name, call it tough. So there is a stratagem which is tough. And the Space Marines have access to tough, which is -1 AP. And Renegade Raiders have tough. Veterans of the Long War have tough. And if you put it in another detachment in Mandrakes for Dark Eldar, they can go tough. -1 AP. Why does it have to have 3 different names? Simplified, not simple. I mean, fall back and shoot could be useful to Terminators, I guess. Yeah, fall back and shoot on Terminators. Reroll advancing for Terminators. Anyway, Armor of Contempt. I like it. That's good. Fight phase. You can have precision. That's not great. Opportunistic Raiders. End of the fight phase. If your unit is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, it can make a normal move of up to 6 inches or up to 12 if it's mounted. 1 minute. So at the end of the fight phase, if you're not in engagement range of any enemy units, you can move 6. If it's mounted, 12. Otherwise, your unit can make a full back move. It cannot embark within a transport, and it can't disembark from a transport. So at the end of the fight phase, you can either fall back or move 6 or 12 inches for 1 CP if you're not in engagement range with anyone. That's nice. Movement wins your games. Warp charged engines, your movement phase. Heretic Astartes transport or Heretic Astartes mounted until the end of the phase. If your unit advances, just move 6. Nice. So this Renegade Raiders means your entire army can always advance and shoot, advance and shoot, advance and shoot. And for 1 CP, an Astartes transport or mounted unit can advance and shoot 6 inches. When are you going to do it on a Land Raider? You're not going to do it on a Land Raider. You might do it on rhinos. I mean, no one has to be in the rhino. You got a rhino and a couple of wounds left and you zip it across, move, block. Just a flat 6 inches. I like it. I do like those flat 6 inches advance. I do use them everywhere. Ruinous Raid, shooting phase or fight phase. Heretic Astartes from your army that disembarked from a transport and has not been selected to shoot or fight. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack, if the target of the attack is within the range of an objective marker, you can re-roll the hit roll and re-roll the wound roll for 1 CP. Guys, so there's a Heretic Astartes unit that's disembarked from a transport. So your Terminators have got out your Land Raider. Can Obliterators go into a Land Raider? Land Raiders. Rhinos as well. You can have a Land Raider and triple Rhinos. Land Raider. Excluding Obliterators and Jump Pack models. They saw me coming. 12 Heretic Astartes infantry can go in a Land Raider, and Possessed and Terminators take up the space of 2. So you got a Land Raider, and you got some Terminators in it. When a Heretic Astartes unit disembarks from a transport, if the target of that attack, you get it out of the transport, is in range of an objective marker, you re-roll hits and wounds. And in this detachment, whenever a Heretic Astartes models from your army makes an attack that targets a unit within range of an objective marker, improve that AP by 1. Why is this not a 2 CP stratagem? It's probably not a 2 CP stratagem because there's a couple of dominoes that need to fall. You need to have a Heretic Astartes unit. They need to have got out of a transport. But it's reroll all hits and reroll all wounds at that unit within range of an objective marker, and you've got +1 AP. This is, like if all your transports are dead, you can't use it. Yeah, that's probably why it's only 1 CP. But you're bringing triple rhinos because this stratagem is strong enough to build a detachment around. It's one of those strats that you see. It's one of those enhancements that you see occasionally when you have a look at some detachments. You see stuff like this, and you're like, "Ooh." I mean, even on legionaries, a unit of legionaries jumping out of a rhino for 1 CP, getting reroll all hits and reroll all wounds, so long as you're shooting at something in range of an objective marker with +1 AP on all of their guns, when you've got lethal and sustained as well. And remember, shooting or fight phase. You can pop it in the shooting phase, and then you can pop it in the fight phase as well. Okay, that one, there's some, okay. So if I was doing Chaos Space Marines, I like Veterans of the Long War. You can't bring any damned units, but I like it. I like this one as well. This is punishing. This is a scalpel. This, if you play this, if you manage to pull this off well, you'll do some serious damage to your opponent's army. You should be able to move block quite well. Your whole army having an assault. You want to get bikes. You want to get fast things. You want to get venom crawlers, mauler fiends. You probably don't want a static line anywhere here. You're always going to be moving. You're always going to be shooting. Reaver's Haste, your charge phase. Add 1 to the charge roll. Your unit is eligible to declare a charge in the turn which it advanced. If you select 1 or more units within range of an objective marker as the target of that charge, add 1 to the charge roll. So it's add 1 to charge in range of an objective marker, but that isn't the key bit. The key bit is you can advance and charge for 1 CP. This one is worth practicing. This one is worth practicing with some Chosen, with some Terminators, with some Obliterators, with some Venom Crawlers, with some Mauler Fiends moving around. This one is worth... What do we think, guys? I like that one. That one's going to be interesting. There's going to be some tournament person at some point who's going to make this one sing, and the point cost of everything, of bikers is going to go up because it's going to win a couple of things. Because +1 AP everywhere. That one's a good one. What do you think? Good tournament play, yeah. Dread, Talons. This one has a lot of nice movement shenanigans. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it has a lot of movement shenanigans. You're all quiet on that one. I think you're okay. Dread, Talons in the Battle Shock step. In the Battle Shock step of your opponent's command phase, if an enemy unit is below its starting strength, within 12 inches of one of these, it takes a Battle Shock test. Heretic Astartes units from your army, and it's -1 to that test. So in your opponent's Battle Shock phase, they're not just taking Battle Shock tests when they're below half strength. They're taking Battle Shock tests all the time if they're within 12. And the Battle Shock test is -1 if they're within 12. And then if you bring Warp Talons or something, they used to nerf it even more, right? Warp Talons. No. Raptors. Yes. -1 to the Battle Shock whenever within 6 inches of them. So Dread Talons, if you're within 12 inches, you take a Battle Shock test at -1. If there's Raptors nearby, that would be at -2. Stop trying to make Battle Shock work. It doesn't work. And then if your opponent's Battle Shocked, obviously they can't score their stuff. Or well, they might. And they can't use strats on them. And then all of these strats. Depthless Cruelty. Targets a unit that's Battle Shocked and or below half strength. Nope. Pitiless Hunters. Targets a unit that's Battle Shocked and or below half strength. Screaming Descent. Nope. Okay, so 2 of these you can only kick in if the opponent is battle shocked or below half strength. So it wants you to battle shock your opponent. There's a bloody example, which makes the opponent take a battle shock test, and it might be at -2 because you'll have warp. I'm skipping that one. Dread Talons. Yay, if you want to play Night Lords. Dread Talons would be good if battle shock was good. Yeah, but it would be good if battle shock was good, right? Say battle shock, when an army fails a battle shock test, it has to move 6 inches directly towards the closest board edge. Or say, no, when a unit fails a battle shock test, it must move 6 inches as far away from the closest enemy unit. That's it. And this movement would never be able to take it off the board. So this unit here fails a battle shock test. Where's the closest enemy unit? I've got to go 6 inches as far away as possible from the closest enemy unit in a direct line. Boom. That'll push them off the objective. That has a meaningful... You can still use strats on them, but they're like battle shocked and they take a few steps back. They're looking around. But they'll still score in your turn. You can still put strats on them, but they're like, you know... It's funny how Night Lords leadership in stuff 30k really hurts, but it's kind of met in 40. I know, right? Night Lords in 30k can be horrific, particularly if it's nighttime. Anyway, we'll skip that one. We'll go on to the Fellhammer Siege Host, which has got a lot of tanks in it. So we're going to like this because we like tanks. Each time a range attack targets a Heretic Astartes unit from your army, excluding damned units. What are damned units? Damned units are... What are damned units, people? Demons aren't damned. Defiler isn't damned. Oh, damned. They're the not cultists, not things, right? Auspex just did a video saying Warp Talons are OP. Didn't watch it yet. Maybe we're missing something. Maybe. Damned is all the cultist stuff. Yes. So not all the cultist stuff, not all the things. You're shooting damned units. If the strength characteristic for that attack is greater than the toughness characteristic for that attack, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So if you're getting hit by a high strength thing, higher than your toughness, -1 to wound. That's strong. Ironically, I think it's a great detachment for Terminators. -1 to wound for high strength makes them reasonably tough. Yeah, -1 to wound again for Terminators, Possessed, and would be very good at strength because their toughness, Terminators are toughness 5, Possessed are toughness 6 or something. So incoming big guns that you normally focus on Terminators and Possessed, the shots that normally hurt them, which normally hurts them on 3, strength 8 stuff, strength 9 stuff, which is normally hurting them on 3s, now is hurting them on 4s. So this will be good against, and it's also good for, it's not necessarily good for tanks, Fellhammer Siege Host, because if the strength of attack is a rail gun and it's higher than the toughness of the vehicle, there's not a lot of guns that are higher than the toughness of the vehicle, because toughness of vehicles is very tough these days. So I think this one will be stronger against Possessed, against Chosen, against Terminators, against just standard Marines, to be fair. So right, enhancements, Bastion Plate, Chaos Lord only, no jump pack, once per battle round when a saving throw for the bearer's unit. You can change the damage to 0 for... Okay. So Chaos Lord attached to a unit once per battle round, change it to 0. That's good if you have any points left over. Ignore cover. That ain't great. Each time a bearer makes an attack within range of an objective marker, add 1 to the wound roll. That's Heretic Astartes model only, so the bearer, not the bearer's unit, so not good. Heretic Astartes infantry model, bearer's weapons have anti-vehicle 4-up and anti-fortification 4-up. Nope. So reducing the damage of an incoming attack 2-0 from some incoming stuff would work, I think, if you've got some points left over. Right. Persistent Assailants in the fight phase. Heretic Astartes. Until the end of the phase, makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll. And if your unit's below half strength, you can re-roll the wound roll as well. So most of the time, your unit isn't going to be below half strength. But for 1 CP, you've got re-roll hits in the fight phase. See? They want you to bring Possessed or Terminators in this. That's going to... Okay, so if you bring the Fellhammer Siege Host and you've got Possessed, you've got Terminators, it's going to be good for them. The anti-elite firepower that normally wounds them on 3s is going to wound them on 4s. It's going to keep them more alive. And you've got reroll hits in the fight phase. I like it. Chaos Lord with a Demon Hammer and anti-vehicle 4-up is decent. Yeah. Brutal Attrition. Fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Not for damned stuff. After the enemy unit's made its attacks, roll 66s, and on a 4-up, the enemy suffers a mortal wound, brutal attrition. You could grenade them beforehand, right, to take a couple of wounds away and do mortal wounds. Then go charging in there. Then after the enemy unit has made its attacks back again, then you could go brutal attrition and do a couple more. The only way you're going to use this one is if the enemy unit has got a couple of mortal wounds left. And doing a couple of mortal wounds will kill it off utterly. Or if they've charged in with a couple of really big things and that last mortal wound, like there's 3 Terminators or 3 and they've all got nasty stuff and enough to do this extra mortal wound, it goes down. You're going to not going to use it much, I don't think. But it's like a grenade strat, but at the end of the fight phase. Your shooting phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets a unit that's below half strength, 5 score critical hits. So you've got to shoot something below half strength. You're not going to do that one very much. Point blank destruction. Your shooting phase. Heretic Astartes unit from your army within engagement range has pistol. Whoa, that's good. So your tank is surrounded and suddenly their guns have pistol, excluding blast weapons. So if they're shooting out of the combat across the battlefield, they haven't got the -1 to hit thing because they're... No. If they are shooting out of combat halfway across the battlefield, then they will have -1 to hit. But if they're shooting in combat, then they got pistol. So your tanks, your Velen Crawlers, your Forge Fiends. Forge Fiends get locked up. Forge Fiend shoots pistols into combat at no negative to hit. It'll just hit on 3s. That's good. Point blank destruction. Tanks firing at point blank range. Or Terminators again. Terminators get charged. Something gets charged. What do we think of that one? Giving pistol abilities. Tanks in melee won't get the -1 to hit. But it also means Terminators can shoot into melee. Yeah, but tanks in melee won't get the -1 to hit if they're shooting out of the melee. But tanks in melee, if they decide to shoot at what is in melee with them and their weapons have pistols, hijink, then they don't suffer. Pistol means you can shoot in combat. So Forge Fiends, Venom Crawlers, guns gain pistol. That's what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Basically, do you want to shoot into combat for free? Yes, I do. Here's a strat for it. It's not something like, beforehand we had a look at that one. What was it? Forge Fiend is Blast. Okay. Well, with Hades Autocannon Forge Fiend, it's not Blast, right? It just shoots loads of shots in. We looked at that one where you had to reroll all hits and all wounds on Renegade Raiders. You jump out of a tank and you get reroll all hits and all wounds, pointing at that thing on an objective, and thought that's worth building a list around. This isn't one of those that you're thinking, it's worth building a list around, but you are going to use it every now and then. Steadfast Determination. Your opponent's shooting phase. just after they selected targets. Not fight phase, shooting phase. Models in your unit have 5 up, feel no pain for 1 CP. Heretic Astartes units, not damned. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. For 1 CP, pick a unit in your army that's not a cultist unit. 5 up, feel no pain. Wow. This is the one you're going to use. You're going to use it all the time, every single turn. In your opponent's shooting phase, you're going to burn CP. You need a CP farm on this. You need something that gets you CP. Because in every single shooting phase, there is no reason why you wouldn't 1 CP, 5 up, feel no pain, 5 up, feel no pain, 5 up, feel no pain. On that note, after selecting targets, make it super powerful. Your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its target. Yes, 5 up, feel no pain. You're using this one. Is it the Chaos Lord that gets you? It's not a battle tactic stratagem. Damn it, it's not. I was just checking to see if it's one of those ones that they could do for free, so they could chuck it out twice. Yeah, you're using it. Steadfast Determination is. I mean, guys, everyone out there who doesn't play Chaos Space Marines, don't you wish you had a 1 CP stratagem for a 5 up, feel no pain incoming in your shooting phase and the opponent's? That is awesome. That is awesome. Siegecraft. In your opponent's charge phase, -2 to their charge roll. Okay, so you've got one in here that allows you to shoot pistols. Your weapons become pistols in close combat. That's great for tanks. You've got one for a 5 up, feel no pain, which is good for Terminators, good for Possess, good for tanks. And you've got Siegecraft, -2 if you try and charge me. That's good too. This is a good one. This one and this is a good one. -1 strength, -1 to wound from incoming shots if the strength of the attack is higher. And you've got a 5 up, feel no pain. This is Iron Warriors all the way, baby. Yeah? Iron Warriors all the way, guys. What else would work with this? Because you've got a 5 up, feel no pain, -1 strength coming in. This is Iron Warriors. What units is going to really benefit? Possess are going to benefit. I mean, even Legionaries, -1 strength coming in. A Horde list will like this. Horde Legionaries, Horde will like this list. Some heretics pray to the false gods. Others pray to Winters, the true emperor. Yeah. Thank you, buddy. A 5 up, feel no pain. A 5 up, feel no pain. In every shooting phase. And then in the fight phase, you've got a strat which allows you to re-roll hits. Those are good. It's weird, though, as a detachment that seems to be tank focused, it does seem to be better for infantry in the main. Yeah. Because infantry is going to have a lower toughness. So the strength of, just naturally speaking, there's going to be more guns that are going to be higher strength than infantry toughness. Then there are going to be guns that are higher strength than tank toughness. So to bring the most out of this detachment, you wouldn't bring any tanks. You would bring Terminators, Possessed, Havocs. Havocs would be your anti-tank. Triple unit Havocs. Cult, yeah, those sorts of things. That would it still needs some anti-tank. There's the movement wins your games, though. That Renegade Raiders is a bit better. That's definitely one worth watching. That's definitely worth watching, that one, guys. The Fellhammer Siege host. Now, we're on to Pactbound Zealots. And I'll save everyone some time. This is the one in the index. So, Chaos Space Marines... 6s, you get lethal or sustained on 6s. This one, depending on whether you're Khorne, Tzeentch, Chaos Undivided, Nurgle, Slaanesh, or Chaos Undivided, either in close combat or shooting, 5s are critical. It's the one that we know. 5s explode instead of 6 exploded. So we know that one, and that one's quite good. I like that for mixed. Basically, if you want to build, it's nice for narrative, isn't it? If you want to build a corny type of army. So 5s score critical hits each time they fight. So you get your lethal, your sustained on 5s. You can build a corn army, or if you want to build an undivided one, it's nice. It's a nice one. I thought I'd like it. Sounds like a lot of Havoc's in runners with firing decks. Yeah. There's no Armor of Contempt in it. Yeah. Ironically, they removed Armor of Contempt from it. Also, I think that you risk the Dark Pact. Now you lose the extra crit. You risk the Dark Pact. I'm not sure that's how it works. Look. Each time a unit with this ability is selected to shoot or fight, it can make a Dark Pact. If it does, it must take a leadership test before any of the effects of the Dark Pact are resolved. If it's failed, that unit suffers D3 wounds. Then, select one of the following abilities for that unit's weapon until the end of the phase. So, you get sustained hits, you get lethal hits all the time, no matter what. But you might take D3 wounds as you're doing it before you get your lethal hits and sustained hits. The only way you're not going to get your lethal hits or sustained hits is if you're doing it on a model with 1 wound remaining. Your Obliterator's got 1 wound remaining, and you really want to get sustained hits because it's going to hose down all the things. It's got 1 wound, and you roll your Dark Pact and it dies. That's going to happen. That'll be hilarious. And that's exactly what Chaos players want. You think it's on the detachment rules for this one. If you fail, but it could be wrong. Let's read the detachment rule. Each time a unit with one of these keywords gains a weapon ability as the result of a Dark Pact and does not fail the resulting leadership test until the end of the phase, that unit gains the associated ability. Oh, so they did tighten it up a bit. So, okay. So it's like the index, but not quite. So 6s get your critical hits. On this one, if you do your Dark Pact and pass, 5s get your critical hits. But if you fail, 6s will still get your critical hits. And you'll take D3 wounds. But it isn't as good. Okay, so they toned it down a bit. It was strong, particularly with Hellbrutes doing Hellbrute things. Hellbrute, has it still got the ability? If you're in range, basically you want... If you're doing the Dark Pact thing, you want a Hellbrute nearby. Because the Hellbrute allows both to go off at the same time. So you get lethal and sustained within range of a Hellbrute, unless they changed it. Did you know that there's 4 Hellbrutes? Like the Nurgle one, the Tzeentch one, the World Eater one, and the Chaos Space Marine one. And they all do different things. Like the Nurgle one, if it shoots at a unit, that unit is considered to be in contagion range. The World Eaters one, if you shoot at a Hellbrute or fight a Hellbrute, it'll shoot you back or fight you back, which means that Hellbrutes, hilariously, in World Eaters armies, can have more than one attack. Hellbrute goes charging in, punches the unit, kills a bunch. You fight back against the World Eaters Hellbrute, and because you fought back against it, it can then fight back again. So it fights back twice. And if you fight back against it again, it'll fight back 3 times. And then the Chaos Space Marine Hellbrute is... When a friendly heretic or Astartes unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time that unit makes a Dark Pact until the end of the phase, weapons equipped by models in that unit gain both abilities instead of only one. You need a minimum of 2 Hellbrutes in any Chaos Space Marine army that you put down on the table. Your whole ability is sustained hits, lethal hits, sustained hits, lethal hits, sustained hits, lethal hits. And a Hellbrute does both for everything within 6 inches. So that's a 12-inch bubble here and a 12-inch bubble there. 2 12-inch bubbles mean you're getting sustained lethal, sustained lethal, sustained lethal at the same time. And Hellbrutes are no joke. Hellbrutes are good. With a 2-up save now and toughness 9 with 8 wounds, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. You don't want to get punched by them. You probably just want the Hellbrute Fist at strength 5. 12 attacks, -2, 3 damage. You can tank shock with them. Like the Death Company Dreadnought. Yes, each Dreadnought has a different... It's nice. Hellbrute is the same. Yeah. So, Hellbrutes, if you're bringing Pactbound Zealots, you're definitely bringing 2 Hellbrutes, but I would recommend having a Hellbrute in almost all these lists. It's going to be useful in Renegade Raiders. It's going to be useful in Veterans of the Long War. Yeah. Right. Chaos Cults. We're going to Chaos Cults. Chaos Cults. Each time a damned unit from your army with the Dark Pact's ability is selected to make a normal or advanced move or declare a charge, it can make a desperate pact. If it does, until the end of the phase, add 2 to the move or add 2 to the charge. Desperate Pact. Each time a unit makes a Desperate Pact, it must first take a leadership test. If that test is failed, it suffers D3 mortal wounds before any of the effects of the Desperate Pact are resolved. Which is the same. Traitor Guardsmen gain battle line. So Chaos Cultists getting +2 to move or +2 to charge. I'm not really interested in the +2 to charge. I'm more interested in the +2 to move. And units of Traitor Guardsmen come in units of up to 20. Right? And with +2 to move. They come in only units of up to 10. But you can bring 60 of them. And then damned units with +2 to move. So you're looking at accursed cultists. You're looking at Felgor beastmen. And you're looking at traitor guardsmen moving +2. This is a tournament winning one as well. Someone will find a way to make this work in tournament play as well. Because what you've got now is lots of low point cost units spread out all over the battlefield, moving faster than they have any right mind to move. That move blocking thing that the Deceptors could do, but you have to get there. You just weigh stuff. I mean, the Green Tide thing is going to do some serious work this year, and Endless Horde is, or yeah, this is one. I'm not going to read through all the cultist stuff. Are we going to read through all the cultist stuff? Jink, Traitor Guardsman, music to my ears. Evening Krug, the meta Strock pick. Yeah, this is the meta is strong with this one. Dark Apostle or Damn models only. Enhancement, Scouts 6. Yeah, so Dark Apostle with some of his communes attached to a thing, Scouting 6, you're getting that one. Dark Apostle, in your command phase, return D3 destroyed Damn models. Yep, you're getting that one as well. So 2 Dark Apostles are definitely coming. Dark Apostle, rerolling advance or rerolling charge. You're not charging with these guys. You are moving a lot with these guys. So returning models to a unit, giving them scouts to a unit. Yep. Shooting or the fight phase makes them better at shooting or fighting, but they're damned. They're terrible at it anyway. You're not going to spend that CP. Fight phase, just after any unit has slept at its targets. Until the attack and destroyed, roll D6, and then mortal wound. Mortal wounds back again. Selfless demise, mortal wounds back again. A cursed cult is no longer res dead models, which makes me sad. Now they move 6 inches towards the enemy when shot. Okay, so the accursed cultists just don't. Accursed cultists resing models won a number of tournaments, including the LVO. It was disgustingly broken. So the fact that they can't res dead models back in, I feel like is a good thing. To res dead models back in, you're going to need a Dark Apostle. And in your command phase, you can return D3 damned models, excluding character models, to the bearer's unit. You're going to need that thing. It was a bit broken. That was when they resed in both command phases and had OC2. Yeah, they res in my command phase and your command phase and my command phase and your command phase and had an OC of 2. So they've nerfed them, have they? Gone down to OC1? And they don't res. Accursed Cultist, OC1. Yep. So Accursed Cultists have OC of 1. The Beastmen have an OC of 1. The only one that has an OC of 2 is the Traitor Guardsman, and Traitor Guardsman can be taken as battle line in this thing. So you're taking Traitor Guardsmen. You're taking 60 of them with an OC of 2, and they're moving 8 inches, and they're dying heroically. That's what you're doing with your Traitor's Guardsmen. Do you want 60 Traitor Guardsmen? Then bring the Chaos Cult, maybe 50. Fight phase. Cultist mobs now have 0 weapon options. Yeah. Cultist mobs now have 0 weapon options, so you just bring them with whatever they come with. Okay. Interesting. That's too much to read. Craze Focus, your shooting phase. Damned unit has not been selected to shoot. Improve AP by 1. But why? You're just shooting terrible stuff. Reckless Haste, your charge phase. Damned unit. Eligible to charge in the turn in which it advanced. Why? Why are you charging with them? Mortal Thralls. 1 Heretic Astartes unit from your army. And 1 damned unit within 3 inches of that unit. Until the end of the phase, while your damned unit is on the battlefield, each time your opponent will make a wound roll for an attack for a Heretic Astartes unit. If the damned unit is also visible, no roll is made. Your damned unit just suffers the number of mortal wounds equal to the damage of the attack. Nice. So if you've got any Heretic Astartes units, and bear in mind, that doesn't just mean legionaries and stuff. The whole book is Heretic Astartes faction. So if you've got anything that's a Heretic Astartes unit, a tank, a rhino, some legionaries, some terminators, and you've got a damned unit within 3 inches of that, for 1 CP, well, this is quite strong. Each time your opponent would make a wound roll for an attack. Your opponent's shooting phase. Each time your opponent would make a wound roll for an attack that targets your Heretic Astartes unit and is visible to a damned unit, and the damned unit is within 3 inches of the Heretic Astartes unit, no roll is made. The damned unit suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the damage characteristic of that attack. Okay, so you don't roll the wound, you just find out what the damage characteristic of that attack is, be it 10 or 1. But if it's loads of small arms, then they're just going to get nuked. 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage, mortal wound. And it's mortal wounds equal to the damage characteristics of that attack. And if it's a strength 10 weapon, then it'll be 10 mortal wounds, because that's the damage characteristic of that attack. This is strong for 1 CP. It can be, but if you take a 6 damage attack and you want it off to the cultists, they take 6 mortal wounds. Yeah, but say you're getting shot by 4, 6 damage. Look, your opponent, you're taking... See, what you could do with the Chaos Cult thing then is take 5 units of Traitor Guardsmen in your army and leave them in range of any Heretic Astartes unit in your army, like your Obliterators, like the stuff that's getting shot back at, like Obliterators, Forge Fiends, things like that. When they get shot back, you just spend 1 CP, and then it does loads of mortal wounds to the cultists nearby. You don't even hurt the Heretic Astartes unit for 1 CP. It could be quite strong, but then you'd want to do it again. There's a lot of dominoes there. I can see there being some really... There's a gotcha. There's a big gotcha there. That could sting a bit. Right, we've got one more to do, guys. We've got the Soulforged pack. One more to do. So far, I've liked a couple of them in here. So I've liked a couple. Let's finish off the Soulforge pack. Each time a Heretic Astartes Demon Vehicle. Heretic Astartes Demon Vehicle. Okay, let's have a look. Lord Discordant is not a demon vehicle. Hellbrute is not a demon vehicle. Helldrake is a demon vehicle. Venom Crawler is a demon vehicle. Mauler Fiend, demon vehicle. Forge Fiend, demon vehicle. Rhino, no. Land Raider, no. Predator, no. Predator Destructor, no. Vindicator, no. Defiler, yes. Khorne, Lord of Skulls, yes. So this is going to affect Lord of Skulls. Who really plays with Lord of Skulls? No one. Defilers, you see some of them, but not very many. This only affects Venom Crawlers, Forge Fiends, and Mauler Fiends. What about Vashtor? Is he a demon vehicle? No. He should have, I mean, vehicle keyword, I guess it would. Okay. It does, okay, that's a lie. It does affect Defilers and Lord of Skulls, really, but the only thing you're really bringing is Forge Fiends, Venom Crawlers, Forge Fiends, Mauler Fiends, Venom Crawlers, right? Right? Anyone bringing any other kind of demon vehicle other than Forge Fiends, Mauler Fiends, or Venom Crawlers? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? But this only affects them. When it makes a Dark Pact, it can invoke its contract. If it does, subtract 1 from the resulting leadership test when making that Dark Pact. So the lower, when you make a Dark Pact, you subtract 1. Okay, so it's harder to make a Dark Pact. So you might take more wounds. Each time a model in the unit makes a ranged attack, add 1 to a wound. Whoa. And add 2 to the attacks of melee weapons. Okay. Okay. So, I see. Adding to hit, plus or minuses to hit, isn't as strong as adding to wound or minuses to wound. Adding plus or minuses to strength as well. You can go from strength 6 to strength 7, but you're still wounding that strength toughness 1,000 thing on the same. Adding to strength or removing strength. But adding to wound is strong. And add 2 to the attack's characteristics, strong. You love playing your Defiler. Okay, well, when your Defiler makes a Dark Pact, it's going to be harder for it to make a Dark Pact because it's got to subtract 1 from the resulting leadership test. So when it rolls a dice, you're minusing 1. If you rolled at 8, it's really a 6. And you want to get lower, right? Is it lower passes? Yeah, lower passes, not higher passes. See, I always get confused between leadership tests with Heresy. And because the mechanic in 40k and Heresy is exactly the same. But in Heresy, the lower is the better. In 40k, higher is the better. You want to roll over it. Yeah, so minusing to the leadership test is good, right? Is it good? Guys, is this good? Is this good or bad? My brain. Each time it makes a Dark Pact, it can invoke its contract. If it does, subtract 1 from the resulting leadership test when making that Dark Pact. So it can invoke a contract, subtract 1 from the resulting leadership test when making a Dark Pact. Is that a good or bad thing? It makes it harder to Dark Pact its negative. But if you're subtracting and you want to roll under your leadership, then it's better, right? The rules commentary deals with it, but it's confusingly worded. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. You're more likely to take mortal wounds. Thank you. I'm trying to figure it out in my brain. If you take a Dark Pact, you're more likely to take mortal wounds. But your Forge Fiends have +1 to the wound roll whenever they make a ranged attack. Your venom crawlers all the time. So this list, you bring in triple venom crawlers, triple forge fiends, triple mauler fiends. And your venom crawlers, when they shoot at strength 6 -1, 2 damage, have +1 to wound. It's like -1 to hit means instead of 3, it's a 4, which is 1. Oh yeah, -1 to hit instead of a 3 is a 4, which is 1. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, they're excruciator cannons, right? Venom crawlers have 2 excruciator cannons. So that's 12 shots total at strength 6 -1, 2 damage. And the problem with it is it's strength 6 -1, 2 damage. But at +1 to wound at strength 6, that means everything all the way up to Land Raiders, you're now wounding on 4s instead of 5s. And all infantry, which is less than toughness 6, instead of winning on 3s, you're winning on 2s at -1, 2 damage. So the Venom Crawlers are wounding all infantry on 2s, and they're wounding all tanks up to Land Raiders on 5s, on 4s instead of 5s. And then when they go flying in there in close combat, they get +2 attacks, and they have 6 attacks already. And at the end of the fight phase, if 1 or more attacks by this model in this phase destroyed 1 or more enemy units, add 1 to the attacks characteristics of this model's weapons. So at 6 attacks goes to 7 attacks if it kills a thing, +2 attacks, 9 attacks. And it's like add 2 to the attacks characteristics of melee weapons equipped by models. It's not if they charge or are charged or a thing. It's just +2 attacks. They've got +2 attacks. I think it's a decent detachment, but originally Vashtor gets no benefit from bringing in it, so you probably wouldn't take him. No, you're not going to bring Vashtor. You're not going to bring Vashtor. This affects Heretic Astartes demon vehicles only. And we said that there's Defilers and the Lord of Skulls. I mean, on the Lord of Skulls, if you really wanted to bring a Lord of Skulls, no one's going to bring a Lord of Skulls to a tournament. But if you really wanted to bring a Lord of Skulls to a tournament, you're talking about, instead of 5 attacks, 7 attacks with its Cleaver of Corn, which is a damage 8 weapon. It's got 5 or 15 attacks with this great big axe. 5 or 15. And that'll go to 7 and 17. And 7 attacks at 8 damage is a potential 56 damage. At strength 16 -4 to 8 down. It's nice. But you're not bringing the Defiler or the Lord of Skull. You might even bring a Defiler, though. Because this gets the Defiler claws up to 5 attacks at D6 +1 damage. And it's got a Defiler Scourge extra attacks. And then its guns. I've got +1 a wound. But your Forge Fiends, +1 a wound. I'd be bringing Hades cannons instead then. On the Forge Fiends instead of all that plasma stuff. Hades autocannons are 6 shots at strength 8 -1, 2 damage. And so you got 12 of them. Mind you, the Ectoplasma cannon is strength 10 -3, 3 damage. Yeah, you're bringing the Ectoplasma cannon. You're bringing triple Ectoplasma cannons. And then the Mauler Fiend charging up there. This is really strong. This is really strong. Venom Crawlers, Forge Fiends, and Mauler Fiends. You're bringing 3 of each. Venom Crawlers, just over 100 points, right? Forge Fiends are about 150. Mauler Fiends are about 150. I think there's a strat to make any vehicle into a demon. In your command phase, select a Heretic Astartes vehicle, demonic possession. Give them the demon keyword. Okay, so you can give your Land Raider +1 to wound. Or your Dreadnought, your Hellbrute, you could give it +1 to wound when they're shooting, or your Hellbrute 2 extra attacks when they go charging in there. How many points of Mauler Fiends and Forge Fiends? Roughly speaking, I'm going to look at the points. Yeah, I know. Venom Crawlers, 140 points. So 3 of them is, what's that? 450? Mauler Fiends, 150. Forge Fiends. Where's the F? 165. Okay. So you're looking about 450, 450, 450. They're all get, I mean, with them, yeah. Because they're a bit over, they're a bit under. 450, 450, 450. Math tells me 1,200, 1,350. 1,350 points-ish for triple Venom Crawlers, triple Forge Fiends, triple Mauler Fiends, 1,350. And what you've got is 9 units on the table, all with a 5+ invulnerable save, all at toughness 9 or higher, all at +1 to wound when they shoot stuff, and all with +2 attacks. You're probably not, and you're probably not even bringing the Mauler Fiend because, no, it's got so many attacks. Mauler Fiends are just so good. Yeah, bring in Soulforge Warp Pack. You're bringing that without Vashtor. That leaves you a good 600 points for some other stuff as well. Warpsmith. Add, so enhancements, no mention, not to mention Dark Pacts. Oh, yeah. With sustained hits and lethal hits as well. Oh, mama. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking, like, I play Tyranids and thinking if I had 9 big chonking models for about that points cost. So you're looking at Haruspecs, Screamer Killers. You're looking at that sort of points cost with a 5+ invulnerable save, which a lot of chonky things at that level don't. You get Dreadnought sort of money with +1 to wound when they shoot, with an extra 2 attacks all the time. Is it feels like that there should be. It feels like this should cost points. Like this makes Venom Crawlers, Forge Fiends, and Demon. It makes them so much better. Anyway, add 4. There's an enhancement here, so Warpsmith can add 4 to its move characteristic and keep up with them. I like that. Tempting Heretic Astartes Demon Vehicle unit from each time. So a Heretic Astartes model. This enhancement affects demon vehicles within 3 inches of the bearer. Not to mention Dark Pacts. Always Dark Pact all the time. Yeah. Now that's a lot of damage. Oh yeah, you've got a Dark Pact to make it work, but you're doing it all the time. You're praying to the Dark Gods. Look at the book. It's that book. You're praying to the Dark God. That's why you're playing this. You want your units to die every now and then heroically. So there's one here that within 3 inches of your Warpsmith, if you fail a Dark Pact, you add 1 to the number of wounds you take. That sucks. But if you pass your Dark Pact, you can reroll the hit roll. Each time a Heretic Astartes demon vehicle from your army invokes a contract while within 3 inches of the bearer. Each time. Reroll the hit roll. And when you fail your Dark Pact, you really suffer mortal wounds. I mean, you got a Warpsmith camped at the back around 3 Forge Fiends, re-rolling hits all the time, and the Warpsmith is healing them. And his keyword Warpsmith? No, it says keyword Heretic Astartes model. You could put it on your Chaos Lord with a jump pack, and then if anyone comes in the clock, you could jump on them. I won't lie, Winters, I'm still more likely to start a Horus Heresy Traitors army. Should this codex convince me otherwise. A Horus Heresy Traitors army. Wait until you get it in your hand. And when you have it in your hand, if you collect Chaos Space Marines and you're looking at it and you're thinking about it, I mean, look, Veterans of the Long War is a nice one if you're bringing Legionaries. I like that detachment. Deceptors, we're going to see a couple of times and then it's going to disappear because it can be countered. Renegade Raiders is strong. Someone's going to make this thing. That's going to be a thing. Dread Talons is, they're still trying to make Battleshock a thing. Fellhammer Siege Host is nice. There's something in that. Pactbound Zealots we've seen before. Chaos Cults are going to win a tournament or two at some point. Someone's going to... There's some tournament winning juice in that one. And there's some tournament winning juice in Renegade Raiders as well. And then this one. This one's pretty broken. You're going to have... I mean... We talked about Abaddon at the back. Yeah, I mean... You don't even need Abaddon. You can have this guy re-rolling all hits. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, your triple fortunes there, shooting, re-rolling all the hits all the time, doing their Dark Pact, adding one to the wound roll. It's going to be nasty the amount of firepower they throw out. You're going to throw triple Venom Crawlers forward and triple Mauler Fiends forward with their extra attacks, saying deal with that. They're going to be tank shocking. Then you're going to have Bikers and Raptors and Talons and things like that doing the scoring, hopping around all over the place, getting you the secondaries. There's a CP farm in there as well. Word bearers, evening, mate. Hi, Jess Craig. I'm fine. I had to put on the painting glasses to read the thing because I'm getting so old. Good luck on your no retreat tournament in 2 days' time. Let's have a look at these, and we're right at the end as well. Just you've missed all the. We're at the end now. We're right at the end of reviewing all of these bits. Soulforge Warpack, Desperate Pledge, your shooting phase or fight phase until the end of the phase. If your unit's invoked a contract, each time it makes an attack, improve the AP by 1. What? So you're invoking your Pact anyway, and you spend a CP and you put your AP up by 1. We talked about that earlier with the thing, with how strong that is. You don't feel like it's strong, but it's really 1 CP, improve your AP. That's going to be spent a lot. True. The true bad guys of the Horus Heresy. There are the models I love to hate. Yeah. Glut of Souls, fight phase. If your unit invokes contract, which it will be, each time it makes an attack, roll a d6, 5 part. What? Roll a d6 on a 5+, your unit regains 1 lost wound after all of its attacks have been resolved to a maximum of 6 wounds. Nice. If your unit invokes its contract, each time it makes an attack that destroys an enemy model. Okay. So if you killed a bunch of enemy infantry on 5s, you can get wounds back up to a maximum of 6. Bit specific there, isn't it? You're actually talking to Jink. Okay, right, cool. Yeah, you and Jink have a chat. Jink's a lovely person, by the way. Thanks, Jink, for welcoming everyone who joins the Winters SEO Discord. I appreciate that. You are a legend. Demonic Possession, your command phase. Oh yeah, we talked about that one. You can give a tank demon. Unstoppable Rampage, your movement or your charge phase. Until the end of the phase, normal advanced charge move horizontally through terrain features as if they were not there. Okay. So this is definitely bring tanks. Bring your demon engines. And here's 1 CP, you can ignore terrain. Because it gets in the way of all your lovely... Because vehicles can't go through ruins. They have to run around them. So in this detachment, when you're bringing lots of demon vehicles, and normally you're hiding behind this wall here thinking, it's going to be a 10-inch charge because they've got to go all the way around. Nope. For 1 CP, you can move horizontally through terrain features as if they were not there. Unstoppable Rampage. Just smash straight through the wall. Wrath of Constantine. Hello, welcome to the chat. We're talking about the Chaos Space Marine Codex, which I'm reviewing now because I wasn't around to review it before. Your opponents, so that one's good. That Unstoppable Rampage is good. Predatory Pursuit in your opponent's movement phase, just after an enemy ends a normal advance or fall back move. If they end within 9 of you, you can move 6. I like that one. Feeding Frenzy. Your opponent's movement phase, when an enemy unit, excluding monsters or vehicles, is selected to fall back, you can stop it falling back. Okay, so the strats aren't great. Unstoppable Rampage, where you can ignore terrain and just move it, you'll be using that one a lot. And increasing the AP of attacks by 1, you're going to use that a lot. And that's about it. The other 4 are very... the other one as well... Being able to move if someone moves within 9 inches of you, that's nice. That works well in any detachment that it appears in. So there's 2 go-to ones here. That enhancement, though, re-rolling hits within 3 inches of the bearer for any heretic demon models is good. Soulforge Warpack is good without Vashtor. Vashtor's not very good. So that is my review of the Chaos Space Marine Codex detachments. We're not going to go into all the things in the book. That's what I do when I sit down to write one out to make a fixed video for you guys. I'm going through the thing and I'm clicking through this thing to see if there's any datasheet changes that might affect the other thing. But there's so many people who do it so much better than me these days. I'm wondering if you prefer this way of doing it, this kind of interactive way of doing it. It certainly helped me, because when I was dropping some truth bombs and reading some things, you turned around and said, no, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? So I appreciate that, you chat, pointing me in the right direction. And saying, no, how about this? And how about... Because I would have completely missed, for example, the fact that you just do dark packs at the beginning now. You do it at the beginning. It's in here. You do it at the beginning. I would have just skim-readed that. And yeah, so... You enjoyed the interaction. I enjoyed the interaction. And actually, Wraith Rider Rules Guy, I'm really pleased that you were here, because you are the rules guy. So you helped set me straight. So I personally preferred doing it this way. It allowed me to think about it a bit more. So I might do this again. Is there anything else? That was fun watch. Good, thank you. Was there anything else out there that you've seen? Because I haven't watched any of these other videos about how to do stuff and things. It's good to have you here as well, Jake. I haven't watched any of the videos about other people looking at it. Is there anything else that stood out from other videos and things that you guys that have read and seen that I need to be aware of? I mean, I can understand why some people might be getting excited about that Deceptor's Alpha Legion thing, but I'm not sure that that's a play. It's nice to hear about the Codex while painting Old World. Nice, Old World. You've gone backwards. Start with Horus Heresy Demons. You two are chatting to each other, aren't you? Start with the demons and then move its way forward from then. But yeah, anything else that popped out in other videos that you guys have seen? Anything else that I've missed? Abby the Don still does Abby the Don things, right? What else we got? We've got some new units, obviously. Because in here for the first... I mean, Harken World Claimer is still in here. We've got Vashdor in here finally. There's Fabius Bill. Chaos Lord, Invulnerable Saves. The Chaos Lord actually comes with some choices, look. The Chaos Lord comes with a Demon Hammer, and a Astartes Chainsaw, a Cursed Weapon, or a Power Fist. That new Chaos Lord model looks good. Chaos Lord model in Terminator armor. We had him for a while. Chaos Lord with Jump Pack. He looks good. Is Huron the Blackheart gone? So let's have a look at HQs. We have Abaddon, Harken, Vashtor, Cypher, Fabius, Chaos Lord. Huron Blackheart is still here. Huron Blackheart is still here. While this model is leading a unit, add one to the OC of models in that unit. Red Corsairs, after both players have deployed their army, select up to 3 Heretic Astartes infantry units from your armies and redeploy them after you've both deployed. And then once per battle, when an enemy ends a normal, advance or fallback move within 9 of this model's unit, if this model is not within engagement range, it can make a normal move up to D6. And the Tyrant's Claw, 10 attacks, strength 4, -2, 1 damage, or his exalted weapon. He's still in here. I tell you what disappoints me the most. There isn't a Demonkin type detachment. I know they say the Pax one is word bearers, but it'd be cool to one. I know, that's a good point actually. You're right. We've got the Soul Forged Warp Pact, which is Vashtor and his demon engines, which is good for everyone except Vashtor. That's a good one. That is demon engines. But why isn't there a, I don't know, cursed something? What would you call it? Demonkin. Yeah, I've got Chaos Cults, Soulforged Warp Pack, Pactbound Zealots, Fellhammer Siege Host. That Dread Talons one I would drop. I would just drop it. All the Cultist ones, just drop it. You're getting Chaos Space Marines to play Chaos Space Marines, not Cultists. So just drop it and have Demonkin, and one with all the Demonkins in it, like Possessed, obliterators, Maul of Fiends, Forge Fiends, things like that for possess stuff. Where are we? Wraith Raider. Check out Cypher. He now fires his pistols as a melee attack as well as being able to shoot them in melee in the shooting phase. Cypher. Let's now collect demons. Attempt to collect this codex. Get your traitor guard. Will this codex get your traitor guard on the table? No. No. Because the codexes these days are so... The detachments. To make the there's the generic one, right? There's a generic one in each of the codexes, which is, hey, take this one if you've got a collection. And then all the other detachments lean in quite specifically. Like the cultist one in this one is for cultists. The Soul Forge Warp Pack, or whatever at the end, it affects 5 units. The Deceptor's one affects 2 units. Renegade Raiders is pretty good. I'm liking the look of that. Cypher. I'm getting a Cypher. You said something about Cypher. Cypher. He shoots them and he uses them in melee. Nice. They're literally his melee weapons. Cypher's bolt pistol has a melee weapon profile. And Cypher's plasma pistol has extra attacks and a melee weapon profile. I like it. Farseer Reed. Instead of Dark Angels, is that no, you're someone else. I'm getting you confused. Thank you for 15 months. I always see the blue Baneblade on the shelf in the other older videos. When do we get to see the 13th Militarum? At some point. Yeah. That's 100% the Codex Complex. We want you to buy these models. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing with 10th edition, right? 10th edition is, here's this detachment, buy a lot of, like the mech. I mean, I'm really tempted to get a lot of big mechs in Mega Armor. In Mega Armor Orcs. Really tempted. Because of that thing. And Stompy things. In the Orc Codex, get all the Stompy things for the Stompy detachment. This one, I mean, I was literally sat here, Soul Forge Warp Pack. If you get 3 Venom Crawlers, 3 Mauler Fiends, and 3 Forge Fiends, it's going to be very, very strong. With a Warpsmith stood there, and with other units to score the second. I'm literally telling you the words that they would love it if they heard me saying that. Games Workshop. Hey, it's working. I'm rubbing off on them. And you shouldn't rub off on people. Not unless they ask you to. Huron Sorcerer. Sorcerer and Terminator Armor. Lord Discordant. 2-up save. 5-up invulnerable save. Do you remember when he used to have a 4-up invulnerable save and he used to be unkillable? It's like a Cursed Cultists. Do you notice how things at the beginning are unkillable and then they're killable? Are you planning on putting Custodes on the table? Not anytime soon because they are overcosted. I think the whole Custodes Codex needs about a 20% point reduction. I have ran them a couple of times. Once, actually. I ran them once around Sultan's house, play testing them, just to give them a go. They were gone by turn 3. They're overpointed. Lord Discordant still does what it does. Spirit Thief, Corrupt Machine Spirit, yeah. Master of Possession, Master of Executions. Master of Executions. You used to have fights first, right? Grey Knights, I need to get the Grey Knights on. I keep thinking about the Grey Knights. See, the thing is, I've got some battle reports I've already done. And you'll start seeing the Orcs ones come. I want to play with the Orcs a bit. I've got some ideas with Orcs. Because that book came round. So I'm leaning into... I'm in an Orcs phase right now for this week. But I need to do my Grey Knights. I definitely need to do my Grey Knights. Did the Master of Executions have fight first, guys? Is he the one that gave them fights first? Or precision hits or something? Master of Executions. I still got precision hits. Okay. Each time this model destroys an enemy character, gain 1 CP. I feel like Grey Knights will get a refresh in this edition or new models. I feel like Grey Knights should get the Master of... yeah, I need to get Snowbuck. I do. Judas Seer has fights first. I know. Master is the Chaos version. Okay. Yeah. Master of Executions has fights first in World Eaters. That's where I'm getting it from. So he's not in this. He's got Master. He's got Warp Sighted Butcher when he's leading a unit. Each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack that targets a unit's below its starting strength, you can re-roll the hit roll, and if it's below half strength, you can re-roll the wound roll. So they re-roll hits against units below starting strength, which you don't really need. Demon Prince, Warp Smith. And Master of Mechanisms does exactly the same as the Space Marine one, which is while a vehicle is within 3 inches of it, he can put D3 wounds on it and add 1 to its hit roll, which makes that Soulforge pack even stronger. He's good. Dark Apostle, Traitor Enforcer with his Ogrim Bodyguard, Dark Commune, Legionaries, Cultist Firebrand, Cultist Mob, Accursed Cultist, Possessed, Traitor Guardsman, Felgor Beastman, Chaos Terminator Squad are looking quite good with some of these detachments in here. Will make them work very, very well. Chosen, always good, still strong. They need a new cast. They're too tiny. Chaos Bikers, good in that particular detachment. Raptors and Warp Talons. Warp Talons are good. Very, very good. Chaos Spawn are okay. Havoc's good. Hellbrute, good, particularly in the shooty version of, so the Long War one, they'll be good. And in the Biker one, they'll be good. Obliterators are just good. Helldrake's not good. Venom Crawler, Morphine, and Forge Fiend's good, particularly in that detachment. Chaos Land Raider, good. Predators, Vindicators, Defilers, Lord of Skulls, Noctilift Crown. Why doesn't anyone bring the Noctilift Crown? Doesn't it give an invulnerable save? It doesn't do that anymore. Okay, it doesn't do that anymore. It used to have this thing where it gave all enemy vehicles like a 4 up invulnerable save within range, but it doesn't anymore. It's a solid book. Farseer read, it's a solid book. It is a solid book. There's a couple of good detachments in here. The Crown lost the invul. Yes, it did. Does anyone bring terrain? I bring terrain. Chosen just got a new cast, did they? They need a new cast because their old one, they were tiny. Let's have a look at some of the pictures. Chosen got a new cast. Chosen, Dark Commune, Chosen, Black Legion, Havocs, Night Lords. Not in this book. Yes, in this book. They are new casts. Good. Because they were tiny. Tiny. You know what I mean? No one brings Hammerfalls. No one brings any terrain. No one. No one brings terrain. No one brings Necklace Crowns. You don't bring 3 Hammerfalls. You don't want to bring 3 Hammerfalls. So, yeah, Chosen looking good. This is a good book. I would say that Veterans of the Long War is... There's three that stand out in here. There's 3. The Soulforge Warp Pack is the strongest. No, there's 4. Soulforge Warp Pack is strongest for fun. Renegade Raiders. Soulforged Warp Pack is the strongest for fun, and Veterans of the Long War also quite strong for fun. Have a go. This is, yeah. You want to win tournaments, Renegade Raiders and the Chaos Cultist ones we're gonna see some stuff with that. But it's a good book. 8 detachments. There's 4 of them in there that are interesting. I think if you play Chaos Space Marines and you've got this book, or you're going to get this book, oh yeah, thank you for Games Workshop for sending this through to me and to other content. I have to do this bit, and to other content creators. So we're able to get our teeth into it and tell you what it's like. I think if you play Chaos Space Marines, you should be quite happy. There's a couple of different ways. You can still do what you did in the index, but with some tweaks to that particular detachment. There's a couple of tweaks to a couple of the broken units, but they haven't been nerfed into the ground in the way some of the other detachments have, like Custodes. And there's definitely a couple of different ways of playing your army now, without having to buy a whole new range. So the Raiders one, where your whole army gets advanced or +1 AP when you're shooting at something in range of an objective marker or fighting something in range of an objective marker. You can do that without buying an entire new detachment or models of things. So it's good. The cover is really nice. The cover is the same as it's been. Why is there no new? Anyway, that is the end of my thing. Yes, this is your 2-minute warning. I finished my water. I got through that. I need a drink. Are there any Chaos Space Marine players in the chat that like it? Thoughts, feedback, things, guys? What do we think of the book? From either this review or from listening to the other. Cheers. No, cheers. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate the love, the support, the hugs, the emotions. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I'm still here. Still doing this because of you. Feels well balanced, but 8 detachment. 8 detachment is a lot. 8 detachments is a lot. You're a good egg, Jink. You're a good egg. I love our narrative. You can make an infantry-based Iron Warriors list. Yes. Yeah. Yes. There is a Salamanders thing. There's an Iron Hands thing. There's a Raven Guard thing and the Space Marine one. But there's a couple of narrative lists in here as well, isn't there? They're definitely leaning into Night Lords, into Alpha, into things. Stay hydrated. I'm going to try in a minute. I like how it encourages different ways to play. Yes. Because one of the problems with the Tyranid book is it's so prescriptive. You have to get... Apart from the generic one, there isn't a couple... In this book, there's a couple of generic ones that you can run without diving into just certain model types. So I like it. So it does encourage different ways to play. I'm going to try out my word bearer, see how they go. Yes, I think there's a lot of strong movement play in the Codex. There is a lot of strong movement play in the Codex with the cultist ones and with the thing there is. And movement wins your games. It'll be hard to keep units in check as they'll be great in some detachments and awful in others. Yeah. Well, yeah. The units will do what the units do. And then there'll be welcome to 10th. Happy to listen while building a Horus Heresy Knight. Nice, Wrath of Constantine. What Horus Heresy Knight are you building? Good book in it. It is Craven. Craven in America. Feels like Orcs. They've gone with the different playstyles and built around those. The Orcs one is, again, it's quite prescriptive. What's the word? There's only the generic one. The good thing about the Orcs one, though, is their generic one is pretty generic and it's pretty solid. But here there's a couple of ones you can go without. It's not as targeted, but maybe because there's 8 of them. I do take your point, though, that there needs to be a Demonkin thing. Wish First Company Strike Force worked like Veterans of the Long War. I think the First Company Strike Force detachment in the Space Marines book is just a bad detachment. There are a few detachments where they missed, and that's one of them. And then the Custodes one, the Epic Heroes one, that's terrible. There's a couple where they're not going to hit every... Some are good, some are not good, and some are just a miss. And there's only been a couple of detachments that are misses, and that's one of them. Knight Cerastus Archeron Flamethrower. He's a beautiful knight, dude. I love the floaty thing, and he's got the thing. That's a beautiful knight, man. That's a beautiful knight. And they're great kits to put together, those Cerastus Knight kits. I like them. I've got a Cerastus Knight down here somewhere. I play KSM and can't wait for this. Only play with a few friends and with 2 Warp Smiths. Ooh. 3 Forges and 2 Hellbrutes they hate. Yeah, man. And then this new detachment in here will make your Warp Smiths and your Forge Fiends and your Hellbrutes. Your Hellbrutes, for 1 CP, you'll be able to give the Demon thing, and they'll get +1 to wound, shooting. And you're going to want to get a couple of Venom crawlers as well. I don't mind the odd missed detachment. We'll never see tournament, but make space for casuals. No, what I mean is, a missed detachment is in a detachment where no one's going to play it, or people might play it once. Like literally, Sultan played the first company detachment once, and we were like, "No, this isn't it. This isn't it." There's a difference between detachments that have got the casuals in mind, and you can play them this way if you want to. There's a difference between that, and there's plenty of detachments I'd say that are never going to make tournament grade but are good for casuals, and ones that are complete misses. And yeah. Oh, look, it's James March. So James March is here from marchofwar.co.uk. And on that note, thank you everyone for being here. I got it. James is here. So it's time to, James, you missed everything. I was wrapping it up, James. I'm going. You should have. It starts around 7 on a Tuesday. Don't say hi to James Wrath Constantine. We're leaving. We're wrapping it up. Remember, you can't suddenly start having new conversations. Just Craig, you can't say hi to James. I'm trying to look. He should have been here on time. He's literally 2 hours too late. We've gone through the whole thing. We're doing the stop. Say bye, James. That's right, Jinx. Say bye, James, not hi, James. Quite frankly, he's coming a bit late. He's scrubbing his shoes on the. He's being a bit tardy, isn't he? So everyone say goodbye to James and say oh my right in the chat. No, not hi, James. Stop saying hi, James Gallen. He's come in at the last minute. What you should be writing there is like, OMG, you missed the best live stream in the world ever, James. Where have you been? That's what you should be writing in there. Not like, hi, James, while I'm trying to wrap this up. And James knows, he's like me and James, we're tight, yo. He knows when he should have been here. He knows what he's done. Anyway, James, you know what you've done. So I've got to see. Normally I used to just press it up there, but now I've got to press it here and here because I broke a few things, and this the one button to press it doesn't fix it anymore to say goodbye. So I've basically been stalling to try and bye everyone, peace and love. Yes, bye everyone, and I'm gonna install it. I can press that. Right, I'm set up, ready to go. Thanks for listening. Happy wargaming. Stop it. Stop it now. Just stop it. He's oppressing us.